has been announced that he will leave Manchester United this summer. An official tweet from the Manchester United Twitter account confirming that he's going to go. A very, very sentimental minute message from Ander Herrera. And I tell you what, I think every Manchester United fan should be watching it, because I just feel absolutely floored by it. Absolutely floored. We knew it was going to happen, but I think, maybe you sort of hope that it's not going to happen. Maybe there's something that can happen in there, but it's just a disgrace. It's a disgrace from the club that this has been allowed to happen. So many contracts have been allowed to run down. Phil Jones, Ashley Young, Fellaini. And we gave them all contracts. We sorted it out because they're crap and no one wants them. And we take that risk with decent players like Ander Herrera. And surprise, surprise, a big club comes in, offers him big money, and we're screwed. We've got nowhere to go. So he's going to leave. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But that message that he's put out, it's a kick in the nuts. It's a kick in the guts. It really is. When you are down, it's a real kick in the guts. And I've got nothing against Ander Herrera. Absolutely nothing against him at all. He said, I've got this red in my heart. It hurts. It actually hurts. I don't care. I know we're going to get bantered, but it hurts. Some of the stuff he said, and to know the shit that we're keeping, and to know how little they care about our club and how much little effort and talent they've got, to see Ander Herrera going from Manchester United, and that message, it cut me up. In a footballing sense, it cut me up. And everybody should watch it, because there is no resentment towards Ander Herrera. He clearly loves this football club, and he's been allowed to go because we are run so very badly on recruitment and retention of our players. He said, there is red in my heart. And that just cut through me. There is red in my heart. And I totally agree with that. And he said, whether I was on the pitch or watching and unable to be on the grass, I understood what this club means. And he does. And I've been saying this for so long. He does get what this club means. Him, Mata, De Gea, they get it. Even though they're not English, they're Spanish. He gets what this club's all about. He always gives 100%. In fact, we were talking about him as captain only a few weeks ago. And he's leaving. He's walking out of this club. And people say, oh, he's better than Herrera. He's nearly 30. I mean, it's just... Have you looked at our squad? Have you actually looked at our squad? The shower of crap that we've got wearing a Manchester United shirt, and we're letting somebody with that personality walk out for nothing. Why? This is exactly why people are fed up with the Glazers and fed up with the way this club is being run. Because it's clueless. It's absolutely clueless. We are walking around a China shop with... Not a Chinese shop, I mean China, fine China, tea sets and all that lot. We're walking round with a big bloody stupid dress on and a big bloody blindfold, just smacking into things, thinking that we're relevant. I'm disgusted. I'm absolutely disgusted, and I'm really, really hurt. I can't watch that video again. It hurts so much. I'm so disgusted by this from Manchester United. It's clear what's happened. It's absolutely clear what's happened. Welcome to Jens Toftel. So Ander Herrera's contract effectively has been allowed to run down by Manchester United, like they run everybody's down. They can feed what they like into the press. Oh, we didn't want to pay Ander Herrera a certain wage. The reality and fact is this of the matter. Ander Herrera's contract was allowed to run down. We knew at the start of the season, Andres Pereira, Juan Mata, Phil Jones, Chris Smalling, Ashley Young, Martial, De Gea were all going into either the last year of the contract or the second to last year of the contract. We saw with Fellaini last year, they let it run down to nothing and then he couldn't get a better deal, so he stayed at United. We've got this tactic of letting our players' contracts run down. It's a bloody disgrace. Wherever you work, and especially if you're a good worker like a De Gea or a Mata or a Herrera, you work somewhere and then your employer's just saying, no, I'm not talking to you about a contract, we're going to let it run down. We're letting it run down. I mean, how demotivated does that make you feel? And it's very clear to me from Ander Herrera's exit message that his love for the fans, his love for the club. This is about the way he's been treated by the board. Ander Herrera is leaving because of the board, and if De Gea goes, it'll probably be the same. And we may lose De Gea now because they're best mates. So Herrera's contract has been run down. As soon as he hits January, Ander Herrera can speak to clubs outside of England, which is clearly what's happened with PSG. United, Ander Herrera was on about £70,000 a week, which is crap compared to people like Phil Jones and Young, who were on more. I would imagine Ander Herrera wanted around 120, 150 grand a week, which I think is fair, considering he's been our Player of the Year and he's a good servant to the club and he's very important on the pitch. I think we get a better Pogba when Herrera plays. And what's happened is PSG have come in and gone, wow, you know what? Ander Herrera, actually, in today's market, is probably worth about 20, 25 million. He's only 30 in August. He's, a player of his quality is worth about 20 million, let's say minimum. £20 million, and we can get him for free. Right, offer him 200 grand a week, because we're still making money. I mean, realistically, probably should be on about 120 grand a week, but we can give him that extra 80 because of how much we're going to save from him, from not having to pay his wages, not having to pay, assign a fee to Manchester United. And United have gone, and Ander Herrera's gone, well, PSG have offered me 200 grand a week. What are you going to do? No, we're not paying you that. Well, clearly I'm going to go then. You've treated me like crap. You've let my contract run down. And then there's another club who want me and are going to pay me good money. And you want me to stay here and take your crappy offer. So you can see why Herrera's gone. But ultimately, anybody who's mad with Ander Herrera, be mad with the board. The evidence is there. We let contracts run down. What a joke. What an absolute joke of a football club. We're meant to be run by businessmen. We're paying Alexis Sanchez 400 grand a week. We're paying Lukaku 250 grand a week. And we're letting valuable players walk out the door for bloody nothing. It's a joke. Absolutely. This is Paul from United, says Ray, Carl, Brown and Moray. Jamie O'Hare, that video was Herrera basically saying he understands the clubs and its values, that he refused to give him a deal. Heartbreaking. Jamie, you're absolutely spot on. You're absolutely spot on. I'll miss Ander Herrera. I will really miss him. And I will miss him mainly because he is one of the very, very few players in a United squad at the moment who get what the club's all about, who is linked with the fans, really. When Ander Herrera plays football, he has his limitations, I'll admit that. But when he crunches into tackles, when he's a shithouse, you know, when he's doing little kicks here or he's spitting on the Man City badge when he's coming off the pitch at the Etihad, it's fan mentality. He's got that passion. He's got that petulance. He reflects what the fans feel. And we haven't got that. That's why we dislike this squad so much. There is no players in that team now where you look at it and you go, they've got that fan thing. They've got that arrogance. They've got that petulance. They're on the edge. You know, Rooney used to have it. Keane definitely had it. Scholesy had it. Neville had it. Giggsy had it. There's nobody in that squad who's got it. And, you know, I like Lindelof. I do like him. But is Lindelof a fighter? Is he really? I think I like Lindelof a lot. I like Luke Shaw. I like De Gea. But none of them have got that Ander Herrera thing. That shithousery, I suppose. That, you know, this is my club. Red is in my heart. I'll leave a stud in the tackle. I'll take a bit of a dive to try and win a free kick. It is shithousery, but it's what we are as fans. We're biased. We see things we want to see, and we've lost a player that actually is linked with our club. That actually, as I said, there's so few players. There's nothing. That squad's crap. We know it's crap, and we've lost one of very few players who actually is in sync with the fans, and he's going out the door for nothing. I'm so angry with the club. I'm so angry. I know there are people out there that I respect who will say, look, Ander Herrera's not a great player. We could do better. Yeah, we could. But it's like Luke Shaw. We could have a better left back than Luke Shaw. But you're reaching for the top shelf, and the bottom shelves are all crap. Like, Ander Herrera could have been replaced. Luke Shaw can be replaced, but they're in the teens. They're in the teens of things that need to be done at the club. There's so many things that need to be done before you replace Ander Herrera or Luke Shaw. And now we've got to replace Herrera. It's like, you look at that 3 months under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer when everything was going well. And Herrera was basically, with Pogba, one of the biggest reasons it was working. Because they worked so well together and we got Ander Herrera back. And it was brilliant. That midfield three worked really well. The front three worked really well. Herrera got injured. The season went to shit. And now he's gone. And, you know, even that team that was doing well for 3 months under Ole, you were like, well, if we can keep Herrera and Pogba, maybe move Matic out, get a centre-back, get a right winger, we'll be a better team next year. Now in the summer, we're like, well, we still need a centre-back, we still need to get rid of Matic, we still need a right winger, we also probably need a right back. But on top of all these things that we desperately need to improve on, we've now got to replace Ander Herrera. It's like we've got to replace something that didn't need replacing. We've got to replace something. And it's not just his ability, like I say. How lucky are we going to be to get somebody who gets our club straight away? We're going to sign somebody who walks straight in the door and goes, I've got red in my heart, I'm going to fight for the fans, this is what I want to be. We might do, but they're few and far between. We know that. We've got a squad of 20-something players and none of them are like Ander Herrera. So I'm really sad. I'm really sad. The video's cut right through me and I'm so disappointed. And I'll repeat it again. He said, there's red in my heart. And I understand what this club means. And you are sat there watching that clip from the United official Twitter account and you're going, this is a disgrace by the football club. Not the football club, obviously, but you know the people who are making the decisions on contracts and letting them run down. They should be hanging their head in shame today. You've made a big mistake. You've let something go from our club today. We've lost something from our football club today that we didn't need to lose. He wasn't angling for a move. You let his contract run down. A club came in that you didn't think... What they thought... This is the problem at Manchester United, right? I want to go into the comments, but this is the problem at Manchester United. Why would anyone want to sign for us at the moment, says Charlie Bass? Yes, this arrogance has to stop. We are arrogant. Since Sir Alex Ferguson left, we're arrogant for the wrong reasons. When we had Sir Alex, we had a right to be arrogant. We had the best sporting manager there's ever been. We were winning titles and the arrogance worked. Sir Alex Ferguson left and the arrogance in the club continued. It was like, oh, don't worry about Man City. Don't worry about Liverpool. We're Manchester United. We're just going to be fine through sheer luck. And we're not going to be fine. The structure of the club's a joke. But I think we've been arrogant with Ander Herrera as well. I think we were like, we're going to let your contract run down. You'll end up signing this in the end. Look what happened with Fellaini. He was, I've been treated badly. Remember last summer, Fellaini was out of contract. I've been treated badly. I'm going to get an offer from somebody else. The club have treated me badly. No, I wanted Fellaini out of the club. I wanted him gone. I'm so glad he's gone. But in fairness to him, if you look back at his comments a year ago, he was warning what's going on with contract renewals. He said, the way I've been treated over the last 2 years with this contract running down is a joke, and now I've got the power of ultimately, Fellaini's crap, no one would give him the money that we would give him, so he stayed at the club. But with Ander Herrera, it's a different story, and I think the club were arrogant. I think they were like, oh, look what happened with Fellaini. He was gobbing off. Oh, I'm not signing the contract. I can go somewhere else. No one will give him the money. And I think that's what they thought with Herrera. They were like, oh, you know what? No one's going to give him what we're offering. Let his contract run down and he'll come back with his tails between his legs in the summer and sign the contract we're offering. And they're not. Because the rest of Europe have gone, Ander Herrera's available on a free. He's not 30 till August and he's available on a free. Give him the wages. And PSG have done it. And now he probably won't be a starter for PSG, but what a great squad player. And that's what we were working towards. I've said it so many times about Herrera. If you want to win a title, yes, probably Herrera doesn't start. But he's a brilliant player on the bench. But if you're fighting for fifth, he's a first teamer. He's essential to the team, and that's what we are. A lot of people with Herrera, we can do better, but you're still trapped in the arrogant past of thinking we're a title contender. We're not. We've got to forget this. We're not a title contender. So you've got to look at the United team and go, well, yeah, maybe Herrera would be on the bench in a title-winning team. Lukaku would be in League One in a title team. You know, we're not a title-winning team. And Ander Herrera, in a team that's going to be fighting for 5th and 4th next year, because that's what we're going to do, he's an essential player. He's a first-team essential player in a team that's fighting for 4th. And we've let it go. And I'm really pissed off. I'm fed up with the club. I'm fed up with the way we recruit. And I'm certainly fed up with the way we treat players. United have only been good twice, under Busby and under Fergie. The club needs to realise it's not brilliant, but does well under brilliant people, says Ollie Ray. Look, I don't know. I want to read some of the comments. What are your feelings about Ander Herrera leaving Manchester United? I'm just very upset by it. That video, like I said, has cut right through me. He gets what our club's all about. You know, he's probably the only player in the squad who gets it in a way that is in sync with us, where he'll crunch into a tackle, where he's shouting at people. Our club's on its knees at the moment. We're full of bottling, spineless jelly babies, and we've just let somebody with a spine walk out. We are weaker for it, and we were already very weak. I'm just very pissed off with it, and it makes you wonder how we're going to ever get back with people making decisions like this. I feel sorry for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think it's very obvious when you listen to what Ole said about Herrera in his first few weeks and how he was with him after the Chelsea game on the pitch. There's no way Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is happy about this. He will not want to lose a player like Ander Herrera. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a fan of Manchester United, and he will feel like we feel. He will know he has lost something there. And it's not necessarily about the ability of Ander Herrera. It's about what he gives to that team, the belief, the passion. He will be very disappointed. Very disappointed indeed. And the club are going to really have to step up this summer now, because he is a big loss. It's not an unfillable loss. I think Pogba's a loss, but we can be a better club without Pogba. Can we be a better club without Ander Herrera? Yes, we can. But again, we're in the hands of those people above. What are you going to bring in? Because I look around Europe and I think, well, if Ander Herrera is going, you've got to be looking at people like Ndidi. You've got to be looking at people like Ndembele. You've got to be bringing that sort of quality midfielder in. Because if you're going to bring like a Cruz in, forget about it. You know, he's after one big paycheck. We've let a captain go and kept Youngie, says Kwam Nyaki. Exactly. Ander Herrera's contract has been allowed to run down and he's leaving for nothing. Phil Jones got a 5-year deal. It tells you exactly what's wrong with the club. Ander Herrera knew his worth and wanted the contract he was worth. Phil Jones camped outside Ed Wood's office for about a month, and Ed Wood ignored him, and then he said, I'll pay you in quavers, and he went, yeah, I'll sign it. That's what's happened. Desperate beggars who don't want to leave and will sign for anything are staying at this club, and people who know the value of themselves, who want to be here but want to be valued, are walking out the door. How are we going to improve as a football club when we're retaining shit and letting good go out the door? Ashley Young, Phil Jones got new contracts because they'll sign anything. They'll sign anything to stay here. They're desperate. They're beggars. And Ander Herrera knew his value, and he's walking out the door because he's like, up yours. I'm not being treated like that. I love this club, but I don't love the way you're treating me. Kevil Kakani says, Ed Woodward is hugely responsible for the state of this club today. If anyone needs to leave, it's him. He's a joke, and I'm frustrated today. Well, look, it's very easy to blame Ed Woodward, and maybe Ed Woodward is to blame. But the Glazers are in charge, and maybe... look, I don't think Ed Woodward would have the deciding factor on letting contracts run down. I think that, to me, is a business decision. And that could be coming from the very top, or it could be coming from somebody who's the business person within the club. Because it's what you call a helicopter strategy. That is a strategy at Manchester United that has been consistent. We let contracts run down. No matter who the player, no matter the quality of the player, we let contracts down. We did it with Martial. We're doing it with De Gea. Remember, De Gea's out of contract in a year. So even if he says, I want to go now, we won't get full value, because whoever buys him will go, he's out of contract in a year. We'll take him for free in a year. We'll give you half now. So we've screwed up with De Gea as well. So it doesn't matter whether it's Phil Jones, Andres Pereira, Ander Herrera, Juan Mata, David De Gea, Martial. This is a global strategy from United Football Club. They ignore ability and let every player's contract run down. That's what we do. And that, whoever's made that decision, and it could be the Glazers, whoever's made that decision is a clown, and they need to get clown boots, a wig, paint some white powder on their face, put some red lipstick on and a big honky nose, because you're a clown. You're an absolute clown. You can't do that at any level of business, at any football club, anywhere. You cannot devalue your staff and let everybody's contract run down and say, I don't care who you are, I don't care what your ability is, we're letting your contract run down to save money. And that's what it's all about. People might not understand this, but if Ander Herrera 4 or 5 years ago, Ander Herrera's never had a pay rise at United. I think he's on the same contract he had when he signed for the club. So let's say Ander Herrera, when he signed for the club, was on 70 grand a week. 5 years of 70 grand a week, right? A decent club like Man City, after 3 years, would go, you're a really good player, we're giving you a new contract, your wage is going up to 120 grand, we're putting you on another 5-year contract, happy days. United don't. They'll go, well, we'll just let it be 70 grand for 5 years, for the maximum period, because, yeah, he's worth 120 grand a week, but if we do that after 3 years, we're paying him 50 grand a week more for 2 years, when we can actually just let it be 70 grand for 5 years, and then at the last minute, knock it up to 120 grand. High five, I've saved us 50 grand a week for 2 years. But that's not how football is. Football's not about that. Liverpool, everybody else, when they've got a good performing player, they don't think, well, Sadio Mane's on 100 grand a week on a 3-year contract, but he's been world class for a year and a half. Instead of like letting him get unsettled, let's do a new contract now. Even with a year and a half on it, we'll knock it up to 170 grand a week. But United would go, no, you're stupid. Let it run down for 3 years and don't give him that bit extra. Business over football doesn't work, and it doesn't work anywhere. You devalue your staff. The atmosphere tomorrow will be interesting, says Sharath Kamath Fitness. They know what they're doing, United. They know what they're doing. And Ollie knows what he's doing. He'll play youth tomorrow and there'll be enthusiasm. You can't boo the youth. So they will play youth tomorrow. He'll still find a way for bloody Ashley Young, but he'll play the youth tomorrow. I hope the players get stick tomorrow on their walk around after the game. It's a disgrace, says Philip Burtonwood. Again, I don't think they will get any stick. I think they'll be protected. I mean, how sad is it? How sad is it that the disgraceful set of United players this season will not get the stick they deserve at Old Trafford because they'll be protected by the youth, because there will be youth amongst them and fans won't want to have a pop at the youth. That's what will happen. Who do we sign to replace Herrera now, says Kevin? Well, I don't know. I saw this morning that the Portuguese news say and are sure that Bruno Fernandes will be a Man City player next year, says Matrix. Well, he'd be more of a replacement for Paul Pogba, to be honest. Please smash a like on the video. Just smash a like on the video as appreciation for Ander Herrera, because He goes. I'm gutted. I'm saying this, but he goes with best wishes. I really feel bad for him. Well, I don't feel bad for him. I think he knows it's a new chapter in his career and he's got to turn his back on Manchester United. But the way he's been treated, it's just terrible. And again, who's the loser in this? Ander Herrera goes off and plays for PSG and probably wins a title and earns good money. United continue to make profits whilst being shit. It's the fans who lose again. We lose somebody that we were actually intertwined with, and there was sort of that connection because he was like us in the way that he approached football and fought for the club, and we're weaker because of it. So who we replace him with, I don't know. United are very close to signing James. Breaking news on Sky News says Gaming TGC. Well, that's what they'll do. That's what we will do. That's what I mean. United are very clever. Ander Herrera will leave at 10 a.m. and then within an hour we'll be very close to signing somebody because they'll leak it to Sky Sports. That's how United work. I don't have a problem with that. It's been like it for years. Most good football clubs will do this. They'll give you bad news and they'll be like, we're not going to allow this fester. Let's get some positive news out there. Let's say that we're signing James. But James at the end of the day, I like Daniel James. I think he's the right sort of signing. But I was thinking about it this morning. He's a left winger. Anybody out there, can you please put your hand up and say if you think we need a left winger? I like the signing, but do we need a left winger? We need a right winger, we need 2 midfielders, we need a right back, and we need a centre back, and we might need another striker. And we're signing a left winger. We need to fill the positions we need. I don't mind. I think Daniel James is a good signing, but it's a position where we don't need anybody at the moment. We need to start filling the gaps that we need to. And Ander Herrera is a massive gap now. The centre back, the right back, the right winger, another midfielder. The left wing is great, but where's all the others? We'll miss Ander Herrera, Sebash. We will. We really will. And he's more of a. I mean, he can play off the right, Reece, but he is more of a left-sided player. We need a left winger because Martial isn't good enough, says Marco. Well, we do need a backup for Martial, but what I'm saying is backups, competition. We actually do need a right winger. We haven't got a right winger. We actually do need a centre-back to play with Lindelof. We actually do need 2 midfielders. Like, it's not like, well, we need backup, we need competition for this, that and the other. We do need these players. I know he can play off the right, football Red Devils, but he better not be our right wing solution. He better not be our right wing solution. I like the signing, but if you're signing 15 million championship players to be your right winger for Manchester United when he's mostly played off the left, he's a development player. He's a good development player. We need to sell Lukaku quads, yes we do. But yeah, ultimately, if you're joining us a little bit late, Ander Herrera is leaving Manchester United. Very, very sad. Do watch the video on the Twitter feed for Manchester United. There is red in my heart, and I understand what this club means. And they're the 2 statements for me. Why is a player like that leaving United? Because yet again, we've screwed up at board level with this. The thing that annoys me the most about United is, let's let contracts run down to save money. But on the other hand, let's pay Alexis Sanchez 400 grand a week. Let's pay Lukaku 250 grand a week. You're hemorrhaging money stupidly at one level, and then you're trying to save money by pissing off your players and allowing a player like that to walk out the door. And let's not forget, Ander Herrera in any market is worth 20 million, maybe even more. That's walking out the door. 20 million quid. Walking out the door for nothing because we're run by plonkers who do not understand the world of football and think that banking tactics will work in a football club. It won't, and it hasn't. And they've been running this risk for a long time, and they've got away with it. And now they've lost a very important player for nothing with this ridiculous tactic. Ollie doesn't rate Young nor Jones. He's just forced to play them because the board's breathing down his neck. I can see Ollie walking out because the pressure is relentless, says Stefan. I disagree with that. He doesn't have to play Young and he doesn't have to play Jones. He's got plenty of options down the right back position and he's got plenty of options in centre back. He chooses to pick those players because they're old boys that people like. That's what happens with those two. Herrera will be going to PSG. Isn't Ollie to be blamed, Mark? Says Amit S. I don't think you can blame Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He only came into the club in December. When Ollie came into the club, Herrera was out of contract, able to talk to PSG in January. So Ollie clearly likes Herrera. Ollie wanted Herrera to stay. It's out of his hands. This has been going on for a while. The contract's been running down for a long time. This has been going on for a good couple of years. So Herrera's won. Herrera's won the battle. You know, he loves the club. He loves the fans. But the people above have treated him like shit, and they thought we're going to win this war. Nobody will want him, and they did. And we've lost. We've absolutely lost. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. We're back again at 8 o'clock tonight. We've got United Stand FC video coming out for you soon as well. Very, very disappointed. People disrespecting Herrera, saying he's an average player, should know it's a disgrace just because he was one of the only players in the team who seemed to care about the club and the fans except matter, says Shiva Singh. Look, if you think Ander Herrera is an average player, that's up to you. But you need to look at the rest of the squad. He's probably one of the best players we've got in that squad, and we've let him walk out the door. It's FIFA mentality. I've seen it happening over the last few weeks. Oh, and Herrera's average, we can do a lot better. It's absolutely fine in a team that's a title-winning team. Yeah, we're a mid-table team. Ander Herrera should be a first-team starter every week in that team because he gets what the club's all about. He fights, and he's a consistent, good performer. He's walking out the door. You can say he's average whatever, but there's about 15, 16 players that need replacing before you start replacing Ander Herrera. That's the point. I don't have an issue if people think Herrera's average, but this whole will just replace him with somebody else. You're being really thick. You're not grasping the problem here. We need to spend 400 million on a right back, a right winger, another striker, 2 midfielders and a centre back. We're going to have to spend 50 million replacing a midfielder we didn't have to replace. So we've just screwed ourselves. We're using up budget to replace a player that we didn't need to replace, which means we won't be able to strengthen in all the other areas as well as we should have done. We've made a big mistake. Bottom line, we've made a massive mistake. All the best to Ander Herrera though. Love you. Think you're a fantastic player. Absolutely gutted you're going. And I tell you what, well done. Well done for getting out of that absolute circus act at the moment. It's a pantomime. They don't deserve you. We deserved you as fans. I'm gutted you're going, but to be honest with you, they played a game with the contract and they lost. And hopefully, this will never happen again. But I don't know. I think De Gea might be next. They need to stop doing it. They need to stop doing it. Very, very sad. Very, very sad. Thanks for watching. Speak to you all tomorrow. Speak to you all later. 8 o'clock live.